Good morning, everyone. In today's video, we are talking about the vision, mission, and the rules of the classroom. In earlier videos, we discussed the importance of establishing rules from week 1. And today we will dive deeper into details. How could that be achievable? So, cultivating a classroom culture. Every group has a culture. No matter how huge this group is or how tiny this group is, it needs a culture. Culture means beliefs, values, and customs that guide the thinking and behavior of its members, and this is said by Mark Major. Since classrooms are small groups of people, hence this applies there too. So the classroom has to have a culture, it has to have beliefs, values, and customs. And it's up to you as a teacher to choose which culture you want to promote in your classroom. And this culture that you choose to adopt or abide will help shape your students. No matter what the culture was, your students will subsequently be shaped by your culture. Now, there are different scenarios, okay? So at the beginning of the year, each teacher is sitting and expecting what or how is her classroom going to be like. For that, there are best scenarios and worst scenarios. In the best case scenarios, students can be respectful, so they will respect each other, okay? But in the worst case scenario, kids would be disrespectful. They will disrespect each other. In the best case scenario, students will be cooperative. There will be cooperation between them and collaboration. But the worst case scenario, students will be fighting, they will be bullying each other. In best case scenarios, students will have sense of belonging. They belong to this atmosphere or to this community, okay? And they'll be pleased by that. But in the worst case scenario, kids will compete with each other in an unhealthy way. In the best case scenario, there will be inspiration to inquire and achieve. Students are self-encouraged. On the contrary, in the worst case scenario, students will be discouraged, they will feel laziness, they won't contribute, they won't develop their skills, etc. And of course, each teacher or every teacher wants to have the best case scenario in her classroom, obviously. How can you achieve the best case scenario? Of course, by being proactively planning. How is that going to happen? Just keep in mind that kids are smarter than you think. If they do not find a leader, they will be their own leaders. If they do not have a routine, they will follow their own. So, guess whose job is to be their leader? You, the teacher. And you're the one who's going to put the routines that fit you or that suits you, okay? Because whether you like it or not, they are going to have routines. So it's whether you're going to put these routines or they'll put their own routines that will serve their desires. Steps to follow. How to put or build these routines. First of all, define your vision. Second, write a mission statement or the action plan how to reach to this vision. Third step is to set the rules. And the last one is to build a culture of mutual respect between your students and you. Point number 1, define your vision. What is your vision? What is your huge goal? Each teacher must have a vision. Some don't have it explicitly stated or written, but there are some teachers who actually write their vision or their biggest goal and they display it in front of them so they can always remember what is their goal. And this will help you focus your efforts in the things that do matter, the things that will serve your vision. If you desire having a positive culture in your classroom, exercise writing the vision for this ideal state. Let's say, for me personally, if there's something that I lack or there are some weaknesses in me, My yearly resolution would be to enhance or fix this flaw, for example. Let's say I lack the finesse of spelling skills, for example. So my aim for this year is to enhance my spelling skills and improve them. This is my goal, for example. To achieve this goal, I should have an action plan, okay? So, as a teacher, if we're talking about a classroom culture now, as a teacher, I have to exercise writing my vision, okay? For example, these are some examples, some vision prompts to adopt. At the end of the year, students will have changed for the better in the following ways. For example, I struggle every year with the writing skill with my students. So my vision for this year is that at the end of the year, students will have changed for the better in writing, for example, okay, or in grammar, or in comprehension skills. Or the prompt could sound like this. At the end of the year, I will have changed for the better in the following ways. Let's say I need to enhance my professional development skills, or let's say I want to enhance my self-control, okay? I want to be able to control my my attitudes or my emotions more. So this could be my vision for this year. Number 2, write a mission statement. Why should I write a mission statement? First of all, clarifies your purpose, okay? So sometimes you could go away, or you're so far from what your goal is. So it will redirect you again to the correct way or direction. Keeps your efforts focused and guides you and your students to achieve your common vision. There's an important thing here. At the beginning of the year, it's important to build your vision as a classroom with your students, okay? So your goal, your common goal as a teacher and student should be built or established together in the classroom, okay? So that whenever you or your students are deviating away from the main goal or from the main way, this vision will get you back on track. Okay, so this is the role of the mission, actually, to keep you focused on your target. It helps you stand out among other teachers and classes. I bet that only a handful of teachers follow this strategy. So guess who's going to stand out or shine in this? You. You, the teacher who's following these steps or this strategy, will stand out among your colleagues and other classes. Moreover, this mission models planning and achieving bigger life goals for your students. You are giving your students keys on how to have an organized life or organized future. How to develop this mission. First of all, consider your expectations for your classroom. You want them to respect each other, to trust each other, to accomplish things or achieve things, along with the learning attitudes you would like to plant in your students. You want them to be persistent. You want them to be resilient. You want them to be researchers. You want them to be inquirers, etc. So keep in mind your expectations or your desires as a teacher for this year. Write your expectations concentrating on your vision. Okay? So while writing your mission, you are concentrating on your vision. You will keep your vision between your eyes so you don't deviate away. Make it clear and brief. Don't choose sophisticated terms. Don't use a lot of complicated statements. No, keep it simple and clear and brief. A sample mission statement. It could look like that. We will work together to lift up. As you can see here, the statement says we, as a teacher and students together. So we will work together to lift up, draw out, and support what's best in each other so we can all grow every day and succeed to the best of our ability. Now, these words are underlined and highlighted in green because we're going to analyze this mission statement. We will see how does this statement enhance your vision and how does it support the learning attitudes or the traits that you want to plant in your students. So this is the analysis of your mission. The components of this mission are intertwined. As you can see, they're all intersecting or serving the same point, which is your vision. In your mission statement, you said, we will all work together. When we say work together, this demands a huge amount of cooperation and contribution, okay? So you are telling your students that we will cooperate with each other and we will contribute to each other ideas, projects, etc. We also mentioned our ability, okay? So here we're respecting others and their abilities and uniqueness. We are accepting the fact that everyone is different. Everyone in the classroom comes with a different background and different abilities. So we need to acknowledge that and respect it. Grow every day. This means that you're expecting from your students and yourself that you're going to grow every day. You will be persistent and you will be determination. Finally, you also mentioned lift up. So you as a student and I as a teacher, we have to know our worth and our abilities and help others in need. Maybe I have a tremendous ability in writing or convincing others to adopt, let's say, my opinion. Okay, you are an amazing debater. So with your ability and with your skills, you're going to help others. Okay. And the same thing for others. Maybe others are better than me in, let's say, in artwork. So they're going to help me. As you can see here, when we analyze our mission has to serve our vision and the desired attitudes I want to see in my students and myself as well. Number 3, set the rules. Missions without actions are like doctors' prescriptions on papers. That's absolutely true. Because if you do not use your mission, if you do not live it and apply it, your students are going to see that you are a hypocrite because you're telling us to do something that you don't necessarily adopt or believe. You want us to face obstacles with a positive mindset, while whenever there is anything or whenever there are hardships facing you, you're always facing it or dealing with it negatively, okay? Because this will undermine your authority in front of your students. They won't believe you anymore. They won't take you seriously. So model the desired behavior and don't expect them to just behave the way you want, okay? They do not have the sixth sense. They cannot read minds. They need you to tell them what are they or how are they expected to behave. So, the rules. Why are the rules found? Rules help establish boundaries. This is what we talked about when we discussed the first week of school activities. There should be boundaries. Yes, you'll be friendly. Yes, you'll be respectful. And yes, you'll be cooperative, but there should be boundaries. Moreover, rules provide security and stability for your students. They will feel safe and secure because they know that you as a leader, you're securing their rights. You won't give a chance for anyone to strip them of their rights. No, you're there to help them and to maintain stability in the classroom and fairness. How to put rules? Less is more. Do not add a lot of details. Do not work on more than, let's say, 3 or 4 rules. Do not just throw them with rules every second and every moment. Okay? So remember, less is more. Your rules have to be visible and clear. They should be to the point. They shouldn't be vague. No, they should be clear and specific and visible. They have to see them in front of their eyes. And they should be positive phrased. Refrain from writing no running down the halls. Instead of that, we can say walk nicely or walk softly or do not hit others. Don't say that. We can say keep your hands to yourself or treat others the way you like to be treated. And finally, explain the reason behind each rule. Tell them why aren't they allowed to have side talks when you are having, let's say, a video or a classroom discussion. Tell them the reason so they really believe or think that this is worth it or this is important. Steps to follow. Go back to the mission. Before setting any rule, check whether this rule serves your mission. If it's not important, do not put it. Analyze it. So you'll go to the mission, you will analyze the mission. You will see what are the things you want to pinpoint or focus on, and then put these focal points in your rules. Brainstorms with your students the best way possible to achieve it. How are you going to achieve this mission, or how are you going to achieve your vision? What should be done? Write their suggestions on the board and make sure to follow the how guidelines, the guidelines we talked about here. So your rules shouldn't be lengthy, they shouldn't be complicated, they should be always positive phrased, and you have to explain them for them. Okay? So you will follow the how rules or guidelines. Omit the repeated or overlapped rules. You will see that students are going to suggest similar rules, so include them all in one rule. Then compare the rules with the school's law and regulations. If by any means the rules contradict, erase them or negotiate or discuss how can we meet the school's expectations. Now, setting the rules could be sometimes tricky because students want to get away with whatever they can. Okay, they will act smart and they will include rules that will serve them and their desires. But you as a smart teacher should compare the rules they want to put and the school's law. Okay, most of the schools have regulations and have policies. So you have to keep in mind, and your students have to keep in mind the school's regulation. Okay? Compare their rules with the school rules and delete or negotiate the ones that do not serve the overall picture or the overall school's regulation. Make them sign the agreement and display where they can see it. Now, this has a tremendous psychological effect on students because when they see that they signed on this contract or on this agreement, they cannot get away with it. They cannot get away with fooling around because they signed and they agreed with this agreement. That's their name on it. And finally, go over them daily. Remind them with the rules they agreed on daily, so they don't take the "I forgot" excuse. They do not tell you, "Oh, I forgot, please forgive me." Okay, so keep that in mind. 4, build a culture of mutual respect. This is the most important point that you as an educator have to be aware of. Be the adult in the room. We always say that you have to be proactive. You have to foresee the problem before it exists. And you have to be a role model. Okay? Demonstrate or show them examples of how to behave. Be always present. You should be like a hawk in the classroom, as if you are a lighthouse and you can see everything beneath you. Draw students' attention to the meaning of respect And this, you shouldn't wait until the end or the second term or third term of the year. You have to do this at the beginning, the first day of the year. You have to discuss what is the meaning of respect and how should they deal with each other, okay? And you should make it clear to your students that no put downs or mockery is allowed, period. That's it. This is not to be negotiated or discussed at all. You cannot mock your friends. You cannot laugh at them. You cannot put them down or undermine them or make fun of them. Don't undermine problems or fights. Take them seriously, especially when a student claims being bullied. Now, new teachers usually tend to ignore some problems or students fight because they think that if they focus on these fights, they're going to add steam or fire to them or between students. But actually, it's the other way around. If you ignore a student when he comes to you and tells you, Miss or teacher, this student bullied me or put me down or mocked me. If you just ignore him and his claim or his complaint, this student would think that there is no protector, there's no one to take care of him. He is not that important. He doesn't belong to this community or to this culture. So he would just stop fighting for his rights. What are you doing by that? You're just destroying his personality. Investigate and study the facts. Ask witnesses. Ask their friends. Ask the supervisors in the playground what happened to know the facts. Some students have no one but you to watch out for them. The underdogs in the classroom, or the students who do not have anyone to stand by them or be there for them. Remember, there are some students who even do not have parents, or their parents are always busy and they do not take care of them, or they do not pay attention to them. So there are some students who come to school because they feel that you are their superhero. So act like that. Be their superhero. And finally, do not be the teacher that walks away when her students are bullied or harassed. Keep that in mind, please. And treat these students as if they are your brothers or sisters or sons or daughters. Love them and you will see tremendous outcomes at the end of the year. So there you go. In this humble PowerPoint, we discussed the points to follow in order to achieve the best case scenario in your classroom and how to achieve an amazing culture for your classroom. So first of all, you have to decide what is your vision, then put it in a mission statement, then set the roles and maintain respect between your students and yourself. Thanks for watching. If you loved this video, hit like, leave a comment or suggestion down below, and share the knowledge.